Hey guys, Michael here from Fat to Fit, and in today's video, in the past week I've gotten a few questions about macronutrients and figuring out your calories and stuff like that. So that's what I wanted to talk about as the topic of today's video. And so to get started, the first thing you want to do, you've decided you want to track your calories, your macros, which is an awesome thing. The first thing you want to do is calculate kind of how many calories or macros you need in order to achieve your goal, whether that be weight gain, so you want to be in a surplus, or weight loss, you want to lose weight. And so the first thing you need to do is go to Google. Google is your best friend. Google TDEE calculator. Now what that is your TDEE is the amount of calories that you typically burn in a day. And so if you Google TDEE calculator and click on one of the first links, it'll give you a calculator and it will ask you to put in things like your height, your weight, how many times a week you do exercise, stuff like that, and it'll spit out a number for you. And I might have an example of one on the screen just to show you guys mine. And so normally they're pretty okay. Just like any type of these calculators, they're a guesstimate. So the real way to figure out your true TDE is via trial and error. I had to do this when I first started bulking and cutting, going through those cycles, and I figured mine out to be between 2,250 to 2,300 calories. It's somewhere in that range. And basically, if you're eating at your TDEE, you're not losing any weight and you're not gaining any weight at all. So your weight loss or weight gain, it should stop completely. Well, not stop completely, you'll get your usual fluctuations in water weight, but it's basically when you're not losing or gaining any weight. Now, once you've gotten that number, that's the amount of calories you need to be eating, you need to either subtract from it if you're going to be losing weight, or you need to add on to it if you're going to be gaining weight. You don't want to be jumping straight into it. Normally, people favor either a 500 calorie surplus, so eating 500 calories extra, or a 500 calorie deficit, so eating 500 calories less. For the surplus, 500 calories extra per day, it can be a lot for some, so I think around 300 would be a safer number. And likewise with the deficit, you don't want to jump straight into a 500 calorie deficit, otherwise eventually your metabolism is going to catch up to you and you're just going to stop losing weight in a few weeks, which means you'll have to drop your calories again, and that's not what you want to do. So slowly dropping those calories, maybe 100 calories a week or so, should get you there. So that's with calories. If you want to be even more precise with your tracking, I recommend tracking macros. If you're just starting out with losing weight, I recommend just sticking to the calories because it's a lot easier. If you're bulking, you pretty much don't need to track at all. Just make sure you're eating in a surplus. But if you're a bit more advanced with weight loss and you want to start tracking macros, that's okay. So your macronutrients are your carbohydrates, your fats, and your protein. So same thing, you get the number, you get your TDEE, you've got that number, and you want to start eating in a deficit. So you want to start taking calories away. So for this, I recommend what I've been doing. So in terms of protein, it's the general recommendation is to be eating about 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So for example, if you weigh 160 pounds, you eat 160 grams of protein per day. I suggest if you're cutting, so you're losing weight, maybe eat a bit more than that just to be sure. And with that, and then your fats, make sure you get your fats in. It's an important part of your diet. A lot of people cut down on your fats, but it's needed for many processes within your body, hormones, sleep, everything like that. It's a very important macronutrient. So for fat, you should have, this is a bit hard to explain. No, it's not hard to explain, it's hard to say. You should have 0.5 gram of fat per pound of body weight. So if I'm 160 pounds, you want to be having 80 grams of fat per day. You see, it's just half of whatever you weigh. If it's 140 pounds, if you weigh 140 pounds, you want to be having 70 grams. And you try not to alter your protein. Well, the way I'm doing it with carb cycling, you try not to alter your protein or your fat too much. What you want to be altering is your carbs. So your carbs, whatever you've got left over in terms of your macros, is going to be filled with carbs. Now, to turn grams into calories, so how many grams of carbohydrates equals what calories, etc. 1 gram of carbohydrates equals 4 calories, 1 gram of protein equals 4 calories, and 1 gram of fat equals 9 calories. So it's all you have to do is times the numbers. So for example, if I eat 10 grams of carbs, that's 40 calories. See how it works like that. And I think that's basically everything. So you want to have your pound, 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, 1/2 gram of fat per pound of body weight, and you just fill the rest with carbs. And that will help with your macro tracking. So this video is getting a bit too long now. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments section down below and I will answer them. It can get a bit technical, but basically just figure out that TDEE and either add or subtract calories, whether you're bulking or cutting. So that's going to be the end of this video. If you liked it, please give the video a thumbs up. Comment down below if you have any questions at all. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. I'll see you later, guys.